Okay, this is my first video, my first instructional video, so bear with me, but I'm trying to help you guys who would have problems otherwise installing this MotoDynamic sequential LED tail light. Okay, so this is a 2009 Yamaha FZ6R, and just got the MotoDynamic tail light in. There it is right there. I got it hanging by a wire, and the wire is connected to a frame, and I'm using the factory zip tie. I'm using the factory zip tie on here just to hold it on temporarily. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, there's the factory zip tie holding the harness cable, just so that it can hang in the air and I can test it. And also there's that little rubber plug right there that you can pull out to program the taillight to have it do what you want to do. Anyway, this is the way I'm doing it. So first thing you want to do is pull off the passenger seat, which is, where did I put passenger seat? Oh, it's right there on my garbage can. So pull off the passenger seat using your key. You should know that by now. Okay, then you want to pull off your rider seat, and there's just, on mine, there's just 2 bolts here. When I bought my bike used, it didn't have the bolts holding the seat on for whatever reason, but those bolts, those are the bolt holes right there to take the front seat off. So I took front seat off. Okay, then you take the passenger support bracket off, or passenger handrail, whatever you want to call it, and it's being held on by these 4 Allen screws right here. 4 Allen screws and washers. Here's my little Allen wrench. Anyway, there's 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, and 4 hole. Alright, so those are the holes. Take them off. Take that bracket off. Alright. Then, to get to the wiring for the harness, you're going to have to take the side plastic covers off that are underneath the passenger seat, and part of it's underneath the the rider seat. All I had to do was take off fully the right side and just take off part of this, part of the the left side, excuse me. So I didn't have to take it all the way off, just barely off. Okay. How do you get it off is excuse me, how you get it off is it's held on by 3 plastic fasteners. Okay, so you've got these little push fasteners, and you just take a little screwdriver and you push in on that tab right there, and when you push it in, then you're going to have to actually pry it out with your fingers. You have to actually pry this out with your fingers. Okay. Excuse me. And then you're going to have to, when you put it back on, push this back out, mount it flush when you put it back in, and then you push that little tab back in to secure it. Okay. Just letting you know so you don't break it. Alright, so there's 3 of these things. Okay, here's how it would sit. Alright, so you've got 1, 2 there. Alright, get those out of there. And then you've got another one underneath the seat. Okay, so you've got 1, two underneath the tail, and then another one underneath the passenger seat, or excuse me, the rider seat. And that one's a little bit different, but you'll see how to take it off. And the one that's underneath the rider seat looks like that. But I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to take that off. Anyway, so once you take the side panel off there, then you'll be exposed to the wiring. Now the wiring is being concealed by a boot, a little rubber boot here. All right, the wire is being concealed by that boot. Now here's the factory tail light. Okay, there it is. And you don't even have to really unplug that if you don't want to, but if you follow the wire that was there from the tail light, there's that factory zip tie right there. You don't cut it, just loosen it. Push the tab in and loosen it, and then follow that harness wire over to this rubber boot deal. Okay, I don't know if that's too much light or what. Anyway, how you take the tail light off is once you get this side off and loosen this side, there are 3 Phillips head screws. They're pretty short Phillips head screws. You can see the 3 holes there, okay? And let me get my flashlight. There's these 3 rubber washers, 1, 2, and the other one's down there. You can see it, okay? And those 3 holes there, if I turn it to the side, maybe you can see it. They kind of stick out like a shaft, and they actually mount in there, so you have to pull it out. Okay. Now there's this plastic that's underneath the tail light, but you can kind of jostle it around. I was afraid that I might break the light or break it, but don't worry about that. It's not that brittle. Either part is not brittle. Anyway, so you disconnect the harness, the old harness plug, which is there, and here's where the harness plug is from the factory. Okay, and then this is the main harness for the MotoDynamic is right here. Okay, right here, that plugs in. It's pretty simple. And then they call this the sub harness. All right, they're calling this the sub harness, and the sub harness is for your turn signals. Okay, so you've got these little metal terminals here. All right, that comes off the sub harness, and you hook those on to this factory metal terminals that are covered by these clear blue boots. Okay. All right, so that's kind of obvious. And then you've got to wire these terminals here. All right, they've got the white ends. Okay, and they've got 2 wires that hook up here. All right, we've got 2 wires. So the MotoDynamic, I don't know if you can see this, but the factory turn signal black plug has a black and a green wire that hooks up to the MotoDynamic yellow and black wire with the white terminal on it. Okay, so you're going to plug the black plug and the white plug together. Alright, and then the other wire from the factory is black wire and brown wire, and it has a gray plug. Okay, so it's a gray plug from the factory that has a black and brown wire hooked onto the terminal, and you're going to use the MotoDynamic white terminal to plug into it that's blue and black. Okay, so you can see that. Alright, so once you plug those things in, you can see that I'm going to have a bad angle here. Hopefully you can see it, but you can see the blinking. Alright, for the brake, and then my turn signal. Now I turned the sequential turn signal off because it didn't look that great to me, so I have it blinking full turn signal. Alright, anyway, there it is. And you can program your tail light by pulling that plug out. Alright, pulling that plug out, and I used this tool here. Alright, the same tool that I used for these fasteners, the plastic fasteners, to take them off. Okay, and I stuck it in that hole after I removed the that rubber plug. After I removed that rubber plug. Anyway, the instructions are extremely basic. If you follow them, you should be fine. But what you do is, if you hit the button twice quickly, then it'll turn the license plate on and off. The license plate light. If you hit it 3 times quickly and give it a few seconds, then the stop alert, that's how you cut it on and off. If you hit it 4 times quickly, then it'll activate the sequential signals. And anyway, that's pretty much it. Now, I'm not going to show you how to put it back together because I can't do that. If I had 4 hands, I'd definitely show you. Anyway, I hope that this video helped you somewhat. Have fun.